Dr. Bauer, I think we are live. We're getting faster at this. We take less seconds to check in when we're doing this. We're up there. I'm not going to hit play on my screen.
Okay, we're just checking to be sure on Facebook.
I don't want that to play through again. I think we're there. Let's see if we have anybody following us right now.
And if viewers stop in, we'll know that we have been successful. Trying something new this month, obviously.
We're doing this live from the North Penn Television Studio with Dr. Bauer. I'm Bob Gilmer, Coordinator of Communications Media. I'll keep checking here and then you'll give an update and I'll double check.
Okay.
So good morning.
Good morning.
It is Monday morning, August 22nd. It's an exciting week here at North Penn. We have schedules that are coming out this week. Our teachers come back this week. Our staff who work 10-month, 190 some days, 180 days, they're all starting to percolate back in this week. So yeah. I always love this week because there's just a lot of life in the buildings. Now we're cleaning and buildings are a little bit empty. We have camps and all kinds of things going on, but having teachers back and all the camps are back with kids for band camp and football camp and soccer camp and field hockey camp and all those things are coming up. Tell me what you're excited about this week. What's the big thing on Thursday we're doing?
So Thursday we have our convocation, and like Bob shared, everyone's headed back this week, and it's the first time since 2019 where we're going to have everyone together in the auditorium for a welcome back. You can call it like an assembly or a program. Just really excited to look out into that crowd from the stage and see 2,000 people. It's just really, really exciting. The energy, I always draw the analogy when I'm talking to folks, when people are starting coming back to school, that the teachers and the staff are like the heart, you know, and the students are kind of the blood that flows through the building.
Circulatory system.
Yeah. And so we get our heartbeat back on Thursday, and I'm really looking forward to just seeing so many people. We've had a nice transition because the IU, Montgomery County Intermediate Unit, is here this morning. And I gave the welcome address to that group. They're like 600 or 700. So it's nice, like,
you get a little test
dress rehearsal for me to stand up in front of those folks and speak to them. So excited about it. Can't wait to see. And of course, we have some fun things planned. Maybe a little bit of dancing. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, always we'll be posting all the fun moments there. We always like to have a big celebration for our new staff coming in. Talking about that, we had our school board meeting Thursday night. That's why we do the Facebook Live here on Monday morning, just to give an update after the school board meeting on action the board has taken. A lot of action in there, and all summer has been the hiring of staff. How are we doing with staff and teachers and support staff and everybody that has retired and the folks we need this year? How are we looking for staffing for the start of the year?
I would be willing to say, Bob, that we are good, not quite yet great. But students don't return for another week. We have administrators in interviews as we speak. So our HR department has been working really hard, payroll, benefits department, really hard to fill all the vacancies. Since last January, we've had about 70 positions vacated, whether it be resignation, retirement, transfer, whatever it may be. We had about 70 positions to fill, and we're close, very close. Dr. Kim did give an update at the school board meeting Thursday night. It was the first time that we did the HR director's update.
Yeah, it was great to have that. Interesting, and I think was such a nice update, particularly in August as we're getting started for the school year.
So anyone who you know who may be interested in being a special education assistant, a bus driver, please send them to npenn.org, click on employment, and take a look at the job portal, because we need your help. This community helps make this world go round, and excited to have all those jobs filled. I'm confident that we will be darn close by the start and fully staffed soon thereafter.
Yeah, lots of positions, bus drivers, extended school care, all across the gamut. So if you have any realm in education, take a look, see what's going on. We're doing good. We are looking forward to being better.
Yes,
by the start of the school.
Absolutely.
So the other side of that is this weekend, Lansdale Borough kicked off its 150th anniversary, and it kicked off with a parade on Saturday evening. One of the highlights there are lots of highlights. It's a good parade, so I'm not always going to go North Penn centric. It was an awesome parade. Lansdale was not only our marching band leading off the parade as they typically do. They had alumni in there. A bunch of my friends were in there, and they're wondering why I didn't have my clarinet with me. Gonna get some videos, sorry. But one of the key things they had were a couple hundred of our class of 2035 kindergartners. So we had a big contingent of parents and kindergarten students marching in that parade. Tell us about our kindergarten class. How are we looking? Are we We got a full class again. How does our kindergarten registration look like? And I guess in general, what's all of our registration look like?
Yeah, so as of last week, the end of last week, we were right around 920 on kindergarten registrants, and that's high. That's a good, healthy number. It usually jumps up a little bit when they go to first grade because some parents choose to keep their children in private school because they've been going to a certain daycare or pre-K facility. But 920 is very high, especially compared to the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that number. I'll tell you, Bob, the first grade class is enormous. Our first grade is over 1,100 at this point.
Wow. That's going to record levels that we had a few years ago.
Yeah, that is a high number. So we've had to add some sections of first grade around the district. But kindergarten looks healthy. People are excited to come back to in-person education. So I'm happy with the 920 number.
That's awesome. Well, I said I was just checking School Messenger. We're starting to send out messages, and this isn't the official tally. It's not the 10-day state number and all of those types of things. But I was sitting a little over 13,000 students registered right now. And we all know there's a little bit, if you have not registered for school, kindergarten or otherwise, get in here. Go to our website and make sure you're registered. It does happen sometimes where we do have some families show up first day of school like, oh, I needed to register. So definitely come in if you haven't yet. If you're watching this to get in here, make sure your students registered. All grades. If they're not registered at North Penn yet, make sure you're doing that.
I get it. You have these busy families running around all summer long, and the older 2 children or 3 children or 4 children are registered. It's oh yeah,
that's right.
I had to register my kid. They see the bus go by on the first day, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, my student needs to go get registered. So,
now, a key element too, I did notice a couple of questions in some of the Facebook groups that you do not need to register your student each year. So if you were registered previously in first grade, you do nothing. You'll get to do what's going to happen later today. What happens today, Monday, August 22nd?
So Monday, August 22nd, it's a big day.
Today,
we find out who our teachers are. So students' schedules will be live today. I am hearing it's roughly around noon. We did have a little hiccup with some technology, but I'm confident we'll be ready. So teachers could see their schedules last week. Now students will be able to see them today. It's an exciting time. Everybody's got to compare who their teachers are. I know my own children at home, they're in a different district, but calling all their friends to find out if they're in the same classes. So it's an exciting time, and it is almost go time. I'm excited. One more week, Bob.
Yep. And all the instructions on how you access and do all of that through Infinite Campus. So how to access that if you haven't done that all summer, you certainly can try to log in. You won't see any information yet until this afternoon, just to test the account. And I always say this, like, a lot of times, how about now? How about now? How about now? Refresh. It's not a huge help. Just wait till noon. Go to the site. And keeping in mind that it's
breaking news, Bob. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
This just came in. I was just informed someone may be watching this, which is great. By the way, we've had close to 2,000 views on these videos. So apparently we're speaking to the people here, Bob. They like these updates. A commonsensical way of looking at some of the logistics of a board meeting. Anyway, I just got an update that schedules will be ready at noon today.
It's awesome.
We need breaking news music. By the way, one thing I can't get used to here at the desk is, what am I supposed to do with my hands, Bob?
What do I do with my hands? Just why I have coffee. So is that my little?
I'm a hand talker, and it's difficult. So
me too.
Right.
Me too. So schedules today, exciting, always an exciting day. If you have any issues, as always, directions are on the website. NP Family Tech is always your go-to. Letter NP Family Tech at npenn.org is where you go if you have any questions or issues. And then if you have questions, give it a beat. Just kind of look at it, see what's going on. But if you have any questions about schedule or something's not right, obviously reach out to your building. If there's some kind of issue in your secondary schedule or you have any questions, keeping in mind that every single person got their schedule today. So the phones might be ringing a little bit, but give it a beat, take a look at it, and then reach out to your building if you have any questions.
You got it.
All right. Facebook here is not the place to ask about the schedule.
No, don't ask about your schedule on Facebook.
We don't really have the answers here. Definitely need to talk to your building. All right, let's get back to the school board meeting. So one of the big things that has been big over the last 2 years has been our health and safety plan.
Yes.
What's required by the state for us we have to submit. And we approved a new plan on Thursday night. It's posted on the website. You can check that out under our district. And you met with the Montgomery County Office of Public Health. What are the big things? What are they saying about health and safety and COVID?
Right. So the state law, the code at this point does dictate that we need to review this plan every 6 months. Doesn't need to be voted upon. It just needs to be reviewed. So there have been updates, and we brought it before the board on Thursday evening, and I just provided a brief overview. So in our meeting with the Office of Public Health, they essentially said, and I am quoting, not paraphrasing, it's time to get back to normal. Due to the availability of testing, due to the decrease in significant symptoms, and this variant in particular, the most recent or most prominent at this point, we're really starting to treat COVID-19 like it is any other respiratory disease or illness, like a cold, or you could consider it like the flu. When you are sick, you stay home. If you have symptoms, you should get tested. You stay home for 5 days, and then you do need to wear a mask for the next 5 when you return after being positive. Of course, any of our students and staff can wear masks. I just mentioned that the IU was here this morning. I looked out in the audience. I would say 5–10% had masks on because they want to, whether it's a loved one at home, maybe they themselves are immunocompromised and they just feel safer. Totally respectful of that and appreciate it. But at this point, it is the student and staff members' choice.
Yeah, and that's great news. Just when we look at that to start the school year, and from our mindset of, really, it's no different than any other time. If you were sick, you should stay home.
Yes.
If you test positive with something, you should stay home when you're sick. So following those same guidelines, and the element from COVID specific that really kicks in is just if you've tested positive, that's 5 days at home and then 5 days with mask when you return.
That's correct. So the contact tracing, the social distancing, all those things are no longer necessary. So if a student or staff member doesn't feel well, they should get tested. If they have COVID and do not feel well, they should stay home for 5 days. So really pleased. I recognize it's not normal like 2019 fall, but it's as close as we're going to get for now. And just absolutely thrilled to be able to welcome back with smiling faces on the first day of school.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So other things in the school board meeting, we approved some policies. Just want to touch base on what some of those big policies were.
I may need your help remembering here, Bob. It's been a whirlwind, but we did finalize.
Every night you have so much homework. So let's talk about homework policy for a second. Yeah.
All right. So if you're actually looking at the board agenda, the homework policy, and the commonly misconstrued language here, homework policy is very simple. It's roughly 3 lines and essentially gives the administration the authority to assign homework and create expectations for homework. So the policy itself is simple. The administrative regulation is where the detail is. So the policy was approved on Thursday evening. The regulation is going to be reviewed extensively with our staff when they return, back to school night, just the expectations for what our teachers can assign and what students and families can expect. Recognizing that students work at different rates, right? So what takes me a half hour may take you 15 minutes. But in general, we want to have a healthy balance of practice, extension, but also we want our kids to be well-rounded. So we recognize that, for example, the Bauer children right now, my son is playing Pee-wee football. My daughter is involved in lacrosse and basketball. They have other things going on. We don't want kids at home doing 5 hours of homework every night. So that was approved last month on this Facebook Live. I believe we talked about the therapy and service animal policies. They were officially approved. Trying to think what other policies.
Yeah, there were the 2 big ones I put.
Yeah,
there,
they're the big ones. Sorry.
So if you have a question, throw it in here.
They escaped me.
And we do have a question about the schedule, so folks are watching.
Okay.
But they all should be released at noon. Going back to my other point when we broke news. Noon, we go by North Penn Standard Time is noon, which is real noon. It doesn't help to go 11:58, refresh. Wait till noon, log in. Obviously, keeping in mind if we have 13,000 groups of parents looking to look at the schedule, that it could lag a little bit. So I know everybody wants to know right away, but 12:05 is okay too.
Yes, the schedule will still be
It'll
there.
still be there.
And we have had issues in the past, not most recently, but in the last couple of years where everyone floods Infinite Campus at the exact same time. And we have some issues. So noon today, 12:05 is fine. 12:10 may be better.
Sure. 12:15, have a sandwich, enjoy, right? Go off topic just a little bit.
Sure.
So I waited till the end of the summer. My wife calls Lebanon bologna, summer bologna. I had never heard this. I don't know if it's a Lehigh Valley thing. That's where she's from. Oh, it's summer bologna. Well, I got some summer bologna, so for lunch I have some Lebanon.
So you can have your summer bologna while you wait for your schedule.
Never heard that. Lebanon bologna.
So my family, we like to go up to Vermont often, and we were up there this weekend and just enjoying some time on a lake. We went hiking. It was great. However, we ordered sandwiches for lunch. They have no idea what you're talking about when you say hoagie. So it might be a summer bologna.
And is it a sub?
It's a grinder. Ooh. Yes, grinder. So
I should know my sandwich terminology a little better than that. I would not have. Grinder would have taken a while. I've heard it.
Yeah.
First time I've heard it, but it's not in my vocabulary for sandwiches.
Right.
Talking about school board meetings, two other things, and we'll talk about some things that are going on this summer and what we're getting ready for the fall. Our health center,
Yes.
to the work that's going to be done at Pendale.
Yes.
Middle school, where we're going to have our employee health center. Tell us what's going on. There was a bid that was coming in. What happened to that?
Yes. So there's a certain threshold when a school district, because you're utilizing taxpayer money. So when you reach that certain threshold, the project needs to be bid, and it's a competitive process, ensuring that you're being cost effective with and responsible with the monies from your taxpayers. And we had a bid process, and unfortunately, from a general contractor standpoint, we only had one bid. And the bid was significantly higher than we expected. So we rejected that bid, and we're going to run through the process all over again. We were hoping to have the healthcare center open in December. Looks like that will no longer happen, but we're shooting for the springtime. And just a reminder, this healthcare center is for staff and their dependents. Okay, staff and their dependents, and we are self-insured, so we already pay for individuals' medical experiences, right, and their appointments and their treatments and their procedures. So now we are going to try to make it more convenient for our employees to get the attention that they need, perhaps during the school day, and not have to take a full day off of work, no copay, no cost for prescriptions that are hosted there in the healthcare center. So hoping to really make this a great opportunity for our staff and their families.
Yeah, we don't need to go through all of the healthcare piece again, but anybody, if they're hearing this for the first time, again, the reason we do this is not an expense from a standpoint of just spending more on benefits. It's actually reducing our overall benefit, health medical benefit responsibility by about $10 million over 10 years.
Yeah, they say that if we have 40% participation in the healthcare center, that the conservative estimates are saving the taxpayer $10 million over 10 years. And some of the estimates were way higher than that. So if it is successful and utilized, it will be a very good thing for the community.
Very good. And then this wasn't necessarily in the school board meeting, but it affects the school board meetings. The reporter it's in the paper today. I know it was online last week. Our local reporter, Dan Sokol, ran a story on our plans for the fall concerning school board meetings and our action meetings and those locations. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we in North Penn do not have a true boardroom, Bob, as you are very well aware. So Bob and his team set up for every meeting, run mics, set up those tables with the skirts on the tables and all the name placards. Whereas in other school districts, quite frankly, they have a boardroom that is set up that way all the time and doesn't take 3 or 4 hours to set up and break down. So we've been taking our show on the road within the district over the last 2 years because, one, more people have been attending, which is a good thing. You want to have community engagement, but also we air conditioning in the ESC at this point, right? So we've been going out to our secondary buildings using their auditoriums. Well, we thought it would be great to kind of get out into the community and take our meetings to where some of our community members are. And we're going to start in October with having our meeting at the Montgomery Township building. And then we're going to you'll see us in Lansdale at their municipal building. You'll see us in Upper Gwinnett. Correct. Hatfield Township. Yep. So we're trying to make our way through the community, hosting our school board meetings where you are. So we hope to highlight students in those locations as well. So please join us when we come to your municipality, or if we're outside of your municipality, of course,
still welcome.
Still welcome.
Absolutely. So part of that is, we'll be advertising the locations and all that. Times will be the same. We'll just make sure everyone is aware of the locations when we come up. So this week, then, this past week, we always have what we call our data retreat. And we look at our student data, we make plans for the year. What was different this year about data retreat? Speaking about community engagement.
That's right. So we're really trying hard to be intentional about everything, Bob. And I think last month during this update, I mentioned that we had our data retreat, or our leadership academy, at the Montgomery Township building, and also at the North Penn Mosque, kind of different spaces and expanding our partnerships. Well, to start data retreat, wanted to emphasize the fact that students and the job that we do goes far beyond test scores. So we started the day by sending the leadership teams from each of our 18 buildings out into the community, whether it was to work and volunteer or to learn a little bit more about the services that are available for our students and their families. So we had folks at the Boys and Girls Club, we had folks at the YMCA, Manna on Main Street, We had people over at Build-A-Bag,
Mhm.
some of our local places of worship. We were volunteering. We even helped in our own backyard at NAP.
Yep.
As they are rounding the bend here to try to get ready for the start of the school year. So we really went out, and then we brought everyone back together and discussed, like, what did you learn? You know, the opportunities, the number of families that are fed via Manna on Main Street, such a great resource. We talked about partnering with them and having students go there to help. I don't want to say as a consequence, but perhaps instead of getting a detention because of breaking rules, maybe we could turn that into a positive and help the community. So really great experiences for our folks. We had about 130 people out there in the community, just getting to know a little bit more about North Bend.
It was great seeing it. I was around to pop around a couple of the areas and just seeing everybody get in and just learning. It's interesting. We talked about this last month too, but you know, we're aware of Man on Main Street, and if you haven't worked directly with them and seeing the size of that operation and how much they do, the Boys and Girls Club and how students are in that program, how that works for them and their homework help and all those kinds of things. I think it's really helpful for all of our staff to learn more about that if they weren't already aware of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about things that are coming up in the fall. Big one is we're going to talk renovations. So our current renovation, NAP, how we doing? We looking good, or
NAP looks great. I can't wait for this community. We'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony of some sort. We're thinking in October. Give it a little while for things to
get the teachers get in the building and
get the punch list taken care of, all those little things. And then, but the park, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. The parking lot is painted. The playground is up. We still have some lands, obviously some dirt to push around,
a little landscaping, sure.
All those things, but it looks terrific. It is so beautiful. Clearly the flagship building at this point, you walk in there and it's just, oh my goodness, where are we? So really excited about where they are with the NAP project. They are finished inside, aside from the punch list, and just working outside. So they will be ready for students and staff on the first day of school.
And kudos to our staff there and our custodian Woody and his crew. It's always tough in a renovation because you're constantly cleaning, right?
Yes.
So it's you know, when you're moving dirt and doing landscaping and other things, it gets dusty, and they've been on top of it. So shout out to our facility staff and our support staff and everybody that's been helping out, including our data retreat folks that help Woody out a little bit on Wednesday. So Wednesday, was that Wednesday?
It was Thursday.
Thursday. So
you did hit on their renovation here.
Correct.
And as NAP winds down and Crawford Stadium is full and complete at this point, it's time to start talking about North Penn High School. And people will occasionally say, where are we with that? I thought that was going to happen a while ago. We definitely had substantive conversations about it pre-pandemic, and pandemic really put things on a hold. Well, here we are again, and this building was still built in 1971, and it still has significant infrastructure needs. Systems aren't made to last for over 50 years.
Here's a point about the 50-year systems, because I think our facilities group does heroic efforts in keeping things running. I mean, the systems are antiquated, and I put it in this context. We broke ground 2 weeks before the first man stepped on the moon in July 1969.
Wow.
So we broke ground on this high school. We put a shovel in the ground. I think it was July 9th. I have the photo. It has a little cushion on there. That was 1969, and that was before Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon. That's how old the infrastructure is here in the building. K-Pod's obviously newer. That's 1999. But the infrastructure of the main part of this building, all of it, is still 1969, 1971 complete. So if you think about how things are bid, those systems are quite old. So
yes.
So where are we at? What are some next steps? What will people be hearing from us in the coming months?
Right. So we did over the course of this year and pre-pandemic, we toured quite a few state-of-the-art high schools. We went to State College, we went down to Falls Church, Virginia, and some other high schools locally, just to get some concepts, some ideas, what would work well, what's available. And then we've toured this building extensively with our architects, which is the Schrader Group. So they have measured spaces. We've done programming meetings with staff. How many English classrooms? How many science labs? What about athletic facilities? What about locker rooms? What about, all these things? And so we've programmed and gotten concepts that we would like to see here. And now it's time to do some rough estimates on cost. We are expecting those numbers to be shared with the community, hopefully in the next month or two.
Excellent.
So not only do we need the costs, but then we need to do financial modeling and find out, can we afford this? And if we can, how? If we can't, what are our options? There is no doubt anyone that walks into North Penn High School, and especially if you go into the bowels of the building, recognizes that we need to have a renovation. It has been on the list now for 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, it's interesting. I still think while some of the paint is dated, those kinds of things, just walking in and how Toby Hilbert and his crew, when they clean the building, like our floors are glass.
Yes.
It looks great. And I think sometimes, and I've heard this, like, I don't understand why you got to do a renovation. It looks great. So when we say looks great, you walk in and okay, there's heat, there's air conditioning, there's lighting, but it's not always working. Keeping those systems running is very difficult. And those parts are not as available anymore, or we're manufacturing our own parts to make stuff work. I think sometimes we walk in, I think when you walk into Concourse today, with the number of people coming in for the IU convocation that are here today, I'm like, oh, this is a great space.
Yes.
Right? But not realizing, all of the issues that are behind the walls.
Right.
So while the paint may be dated, ceiling tiles are worn and those kinds of things, the structure of the building, of course, is decent.
Yes.
But everything else that allows people to be in the building,
Everything else
is as aged as I am.
Beautiful way of putting it, Bob. So it is necessary. We're excited about it. I mean, we do believe that the North Penn students and their families deserve the best high school.
Sure.
And you walk into some of our neighboring high schools that have recently been renovated or are new. It's a different universe. It's time. So we're looking forward to getting community support. It should be an exciting time for our students and families and the larger community. We want North Penn High School to be the best, not just in student performance and opportunities, but also the facility to be a point of pride for our community.
To support all of that excellence that we have. All right, that's about 30 minutes for us right now. I don't know if there's any other topics we hit coming up. Our kids return.
Yes.
Next week. Yeah, next week. So
Tuesday.
Sophomores and seventh graders coming on Monday for their
kindergarten. And kindergarten. It's all the same time.
Correct.
Kindergarten, seventh grade, and sophomore. So excited to welcome the students who are new to their building.
Sure.
But yeah, the only thing I think we need to talk about, Bob, is we said something last month about we need a name for this.
Yeah.
And I heard some really funny suggestions. Some said like talking with Todd. Sorry. The Bauer half hour.
Yep. Which we're coming up on it. So
superintendent's update. So we'll settle on something.
Yeah, but keep throwing them in there. Throw some suggestions in there. We want your feedback on that. We enjoy doing these. These are nice, quick updates for everybody. Other than that, we got the start of the year. All students come back on Tuesday, and it is such an exciting time. It is. It's we joke in the summertime, like when things finally calm down, you're like, oh, this place is nice without the kids, but it's not. It is not. It's quiet. And the circulation will start pumping again come Monday and Tuesday fully. We're running a marathon. It starts. So we're excited to get started here.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Bob. And thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Hopefully these videos will be posted soon.
Yes.
You can look for written communication from us today or tomorrow. And we're just excited to have everybody back.
So. Yeah, and if you're curious, these previous ones are also on Facebook if you scroll back, but they're also on the North Penn Television YouTube channel, youtube.com/NPTV, if you want to check out the old updates as well. All right, I'm going to hit end. That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful start to the year.